See if we're working here. There we go. So we good. We good. We good. See if we can get us a few viewers before we jump into the content. I appreciate you guys coming. This is episode 3 of Questions with Coach, and I'm doing them live today because there's always somebody that wants to get into the chat box and ask questions. So this is going to be a live version of Questions with Coach. The agenda today, I'm going to start with the 3 questions I got so far. I'm going to talk about Marshall Yanda's retirement and what that means for the Ravens. Going to answer any draft questions about linebackers, receivers, and running backs. Those are the guys I've done so far, and I'm still in the process of doing receivers. Actually, Denzel Mims will probably be out tonight. My Denzel Mims tape will probably be out tonight. And then at the end, I'll answer some questions about free agent linebackers and edge guys that Baltimore could possibly pick up. And when free agency starts next Wednesday, I think it is. And then we'll end it with questions from the chat box. I'm going to try to get out of here in an hour so you guys can then tune in to Sonny and Joe Nubo and, just keep this Ravens family rolling. So, again, a few more minutes to get started and then we'll roll. Carlo, what's good? I appreciate you being here, buddy. I appreciate it. Have not seen Alex Highsmith yet. Give me a little info on Alex Highsmith. What position does he play? And just give me that. Then I'll make sure I get you some info on him. And without further ado, let's get on into this. So I want to make sure I'm done by 9. So you guys can tune in to Joe and Sonny. We can keep this Ravens family. We just make this a Ravens Wednesday. So the first question came in and said, "Hey, Coach, keep up with the great content. I appreciate that. Are your thoughts about drafting an elite running back to pair with Lamar's dynamic abilities like DeAndre Swift?" Lately, a lot of the experts had mocked DeAndre Swift to us, but I don't see it at all with Gus, with Justice, and with our number one guy, Mark Ingram. I don't see the need to use 28 on a running back. We got 3 good guys. I think Ingram is at his ceiling. He's a great guy. I don't think he declines much because he didn't get up a ton of carries. I think Gus is still on the incline, and I think Justice is definitely on the incline. We got what we need in those three backs. And to me, it makes no sense to draft a running back at 28. None whatsoever. None. Period. I don't know where they're getting that from, or if they just got a draft list and at 28, Swift fits the Ravens. Heck if I know. I don't have a clue. But I disagree with them completely, and I don't think we should draft DeAndre Swift. And I really like DeAndre Swift. I think he's the best back in the draft, but I don't think he should be a Raven because we're set at that position, in my opinion. All right, let's move on to the second question, which is kind of, and I cut the questions down because they wouldn't fit, but they asked about taking DeAndre Swift also. But his real question was, what should we do at 28? And a lot of people say receiver, a lot of people say edge guy, a lot of people say inside linebacker. And all 3 of those things are good. If we get one of those 3 things with 28, and especially if it's a player I like, I won't say a word. I won't be mad. I won't, have any ill will. But my heart is just set, and especially with Yanda retiring, on Lower Cushenberry. I'm a huge fan of what he can do. He can play either guard or center. He doesn't have the traditional short arms as a center. His arms are just as long as some of the top defensive linemen out there. And I'm a huge fan of Lord Cushenberry. And I'm telling you, when I get to O lineman and I do his tape, it's gonna be some fireworks. It's gonna be some fireworks when you really get down and see how this dude worked. And I'm gonna go find some of his Senior Bowl tape, which really is what put me on the Cushenberry. His Senior Bowl tape, he did some work against some of the top defensive linemen, that's in the draft. So I think we should do, Cushionberry 28. And everybody that will listen, I've been telling them that I'm a huge Lord Cushionberry fan. I think Cushionberry is my new Hakeem Butler. I think me and Joe was on the Hakeem train last year. I'm on the Cushionberry train. But if we do go receiver, and trust me, I just finished doing his breakdown tape. Denzel Mims is a dog. Denzel Mims is a certified dog. When you watch my tape, make sure you watch I forget the guy's name, but he did one on Denzel Mims last week, and I knew I couldn't follow it up right at the time, so I had to wait and let some of that heat die down. But he did one, and it was awesome. But all his are awesome anyway. So, but Denzel Mims is a certified dog. So I think we could go there too. And if we go inside linebacker, if we go inside linebacker 28, it'd probably be McQueen. Between Queen and Murray, I don't really like that at 28. I think they're more outside linebackers, but and not edge linebackers, but just like weak line, not middle linebackers, weak or Sam linebackers. I don't think they're middle linebackers, but they could do it. They could do it. I like Troy Dye in the second or third round. And if we go edge guy, I think I'm liking Bond. I think that's his name from Wisconsin. Zach Bond is the guy I'm liking from Wisconsin. All right. Last question that I got when I put the feeler out there is I've argued that the Ravens need another certified deep threat that will push the defense back more, not a possession receiver only to complement Hollywood Brown. And he said someone like Robbie Anderson. He wants to know how I feel about that. So if we do go receiver, I agree, it does not need to be a possession guy. It needs to be somebody that can burn, whether it be in the draft or somebody like Robbie Anderson, whoever they pick up, it needs to be somebody that can burn. And the reason I say that because we have a ton of possession receivers already. We have Snead, we have Boykin, even though Boykin can run a little bit. We have all three of our tight ends, which I consider them possession receivers. The only guy that we really got to go get it down the field to stretch the field is Hollywood Brown. So I think I agree with the question. We need another guy to stretch the field. Now, if you can find a big, fast guy, great. If you can find a small, fast guy, great. But, if you find a big, fast guy in the likes of Mims, that's awesome. And a lot of people scream Chase Claypool in the later rounds, but I don't see it. I know he's fast. I know he shocked us at the combine. But when I watched his tape, my next video was supposed to be Chase Claypool. When I watched his tape, I just stopped. I stopped. And went another direction. I took a couple of days break, then I picked back up with Denzel Mims. I was not impressed. But I only had 2 games though. I only had 2 games. And so maybe there's tape out there that I hadn't seen. Maybe I can watch his games, with the regular TV version and get a better idea for him. But the 2 games I had for all 22, they ain't at Holmes. Not it at all. But before we go on to Yanda, let me check the chat box and get my shots out and see if we got any questions over there so far. Let me hide this. All right. Let's see. Godson, I see you out there. Appreciate you tuning in. What do you think of off-ball linebacker will be and the next appreciation position after linebacker? That's a good question, Jimmy Dean. The off-ball LB, I think that's what we were talking about when I was talking about Queen and Murray. I think that's what they'll be great at. I don't think they'll be good Mike linebackers. And I could be wrong. Because both of them can fly. Both of them extremely physical. Both of them are, and the reason I say don't be good, Mike, I think they're gonna overrun some stuff at Mike because both of them are extremely fast. I think they'll overrun a lot of C and B gap fits at Mike and leave cutback lanes. But I think if they're on the weak side, they can chase that stuff down and go make the tackle. Or if they're on the strong side, they can set the edge and turn it back into whoever's playing Mike for us. So that's why I don't necessarily want them in the middle, even though they could do it. But I'm just thinking they're too fast to sit in the middle and hunt like that. We're good running back. Cesar Ruiz, I think that's what God's saying, speaking of. But I just don't. I think Cushionberry is better than him. I really do. And 410, it wasn't Edgar Allen. It was I did see Edgar Allen's. It was he got a bunch of followers. I don't know why I'm going blank right now. Brent Coleman, that's his name. Brent Coleman is the one that did on Denzel Mims. His video on Mims was extremely good. That's what I was thinking of, Brent Coleman. But I did see Edgar Allen's, and I like his also. Iron Carl, I wasn't a fan of Claypool. Box 2, I got the purple Kool-Aid. It's probably red right now, but I still got my purple Kool-Aid. Appreciate you for tuning in. Well, let's move on with the agenda. Yanda's retirement. Obviously, Marshall Yanda retired today, had a press conference, had a bunch of guys back in the building. Joe Flacco was back in the building, a bunch of his teammates. And he had some great stories. He thanked a bunch of people, thanked almost anybody he could think of. And the guys that he couldn't think of, he issued an apology to them because that he forgot them. Told a bunch of stories about how Ray, inspired him to do things, and how when it was his turn to lead this year, he looked around and he was the elder statesman. He felt like he had to do it because he was the only guy that was there from the glory times. Sizzle was gone, Ray was gone, a bunch of those guys he played with were gone. I want to say he had 13, 14 years with the Ravens and went out if I'm not mistaken, Yanda was all pro this year. Correct me if I'm wrong. I know he made the Pro Bowl, and I think he was all pro. So he went out on the top of his game other than winning the Super Bowl. He looks great. He's already lost 50 pounds since the Titans game. He went from 310 to 260. I think that's what he said. That's a lot of weight in 2 months, maybe 3 months. But he looked good. He looked real good. And for him to lose that weight, he kind of knew, hey, I'm done. And then he talked about how I think one of the Ravens beat writers tweeted that Yanda was on the field after the game taking pictures and whatnot, and it may be the end of it. And he kind of confirmed that's what was going on, that they knew they had if they lost, they probably was going to be the end of his career. So they got out there and took pictures and just enjoyed the moment, soaked it in. And he also talked about how a lot of his family members don't have pictures with him in his uniform because before the game, he's not with that. He said he's ready to strap it on and go. And I appreciate him with that business-like mentality, that workman mentality. He gave us 13, 14 good years, and I wish him nothing but the best. Said he's moving back to Iowa, gonna help his dad on the farm, probably gonna buy his own and whatnot. And they're gonna stay in Baltimore till school's out and then push on from there. Somebody asked him about coaching, and he said, maybe down the line he'll see how life takes him, but didn't want to commit or not commit to coaching. So it just depends on, how retirement is for him, how he feels that his life is without football. And that's a big adjustment for a lot of guys. I've been playing football. Let's say Yanda, say 14 years, let's say he's 35, 36-ish, maybe more or not, I could be wrong. Let's say 37 for the sake of it. And so he's probably been playing football since about 10. So that's 27 years. A lot of those guys, have to find ways to cope with life without football. But he seemed to have a good support system, seemed to have his head on straight. Hopefully there's no drawback later on down the line with all the CTE stuff going on. And he has a great life in retirement. And surprised at the end that DaCosta said they're going to put him in a ring of honor pretty soon, which is, to me, that's a classic move by the Ravens organization. But the Ravens organization is always classic. Like he mentioned it about other people coming in and say the Ravens do things right. And, so it was going to happen. And the fact that they're going to do it sooner rather than later, I appreciate it. Giving people their flowers while they are here, which is something that I think we all should start doing, especially after, what happened with Kobe and whatnot. All those great guys that we like to see and kind of, I don't want to say cherish, but just are inspired by. Just let's pay respects and give them their due and hand claps and ovations for them while they're still here. And let's try not to do it once they move on to the afterlife. All right. That's what I got on Yanda's retirement. Oh, what it means for us. And back on that tangent, Cushionberry. It means interior O-line is a priority now. And it may not be Cushionberry because that's who I want. But inside lineman is a priority now. I think we have 5 guys that could step into play. But I think to be a good offense, we're gonna need 7. We need 5 main guys and 2 rotational guys. I think if you, and this is one of the reasons I keep speaking on Cushenberry, because if Cushenberry was our 7th lineman, he could play guard, center guard. And then whoever the 6th lineman was needs to be a tackle person to play, maybe play right tackle if Stanley went down and they moved Zeus over, or just to play right tackle if Stanley went down. So I think we need 7 linemen like that's going to play, and one of them needs to be just a tackle, whether it be left or right. Then the other guy needs to be a move guy. And we don't know what's going to happen with Hurst. I think Hurst is suspended for the first 4 games. And one's coming off an injury. I forget who's coming off the injury right now. It was our center, maybe. It was our center coming off an injury. And so we got to piece that thing together. All right, that's what I said for that. So let's check the chat box again. P. Brownlee, I answered your question, P. I answered your question. If not, when this is over, rewind it back. I did answer your question tonight. Miss Sandy, how you doing? We all like Yanda. Yanda had some good stuff, and I almost pulled some tears on it. It was almost an onion cutting incident while I was watching that press conference. Luckily, I was on my lunch break at school, and it wasn't a situation where I had to, make sure these eyes were straight. Do you think Bond's first rounder? I do. I don't know if it's going to be with us, but I do think Bond's a first rounder, and you're definitely gonna get a video about Zach Bond from in the coming weeks. Yeah, he did get that weight off of him real fast. Poon Gent was up. It looked like Poon Gent's a Browns fan. Hey, I appreciate you coming in. I appreciate it. 23 years. Yeah. What's good, Coach? My wife say you sound like Ricky Smiley. Ricky Smiley is my frat brother. Roots of the good brothers, but I'm not Ricky Smiley by any means. Melvin, you think Willie Gay going first round? I do not. But I would love to see him in purple and black in the 2nd or 3rd round. Even though he has some flaws, I just think he has that mentality that once he is all-time football, like all the time, he ain't got to worry about school. He's just football 100%. He's gonna be an animal. I really do. I really do. And not just because I'm a homer, because he's a Mississippi guy, but I just had this feeling that whoever gets Willie Gay is gonna get a dude for a long time. A real high energy run stopper. He's gonna cover guys. He's gonna get interceptions. When it's plays to be made, for the most part, I'm gonna say in year 2 or 3, he's gonna start making. Year 1 probably gonna be erratic, coming from not playing a lot of snaps in college and then to being in the NFL. So he probably gonna have some brain farts, some bloopers, some missed assignments. But when it click, you got a stud. I'm telling you got a stud. And come back to this video when it clicks. You got a stud right there. And then if he fail, come back to this video anyway and say, you know what you're talking about. But Steve, what up, Steve? That's my Mississippi guy right there. Vicksburg in the building. Moving on. Now, any questions, draft questions about running backs, linebackers, or wide receivers? That's what we at with it. We pushing 18 minutes, so we doing good time. Making knock this thing off for 30 minutes. Draft questions about running backs, linebackers, or wide receivers. The wide receivers I've done so far, I've done CeeDee Lamb. I looked at Claypool. I've done Denzel Mims. Who else I did? Linebackers, I did a ton. I already had my top 9 at 9. I ended up with Simmons as my number 1 linebacker. I had Willie Gay in there at like 4 or 5. I think Troy Dye was 3. Queen was 2. Murray was 5. No, Murray was 4. Willie Gay was 5. I had the linebacker from Texas Tech in there. I had Akeem Gaither Davis from Appalachian State. And I had one other guy in there too. I can't remember. But anyway, go check that video out, my top 9 at 9. And also running backs, I did Swift. I did 6'4", 270 Clyde from LSU. And I did J.K. Dobbins, and I think one other Cam Akers. Them the 4 running backs I did. And all of them made my top 9. As a matter of fact, those were the top 4 in my top 9. I had J.K. Dobbins at 2. I had did I have Cam at 3? Can't remember if I had Cam. No, I had Clyde at 3, and I had Cam at 4, and then it went up from there. So let's get into these questions right here. Let's see what we got. Claypool or Mims? Mims all day, and to me, it's not even close. I spoke on it earlier. I was watching Claypool's film, and I just was like, this is whack. I mean, I think that's what I said. This is whack. I watched 2 games. Like, man, I'm not even doing this. I shut down my Premiere. The clips that I had cut off, I deleted them. Whack. So whack that I took like almost a week off from doing film. I just got back into film maybe 2 days ago when I started working on memes. But memes all day. Do you think Ingram will regress this year? A little bit. And I only say a little bit because he doesn't have to carry the ball all the time. We had a good mixture of runs with him, Gus, and Justice Hill. So I don't think he's gonna regress. And it may not be so much that you even notice it on the field. He may lose a step, and simply because Father Time is undefeated. He may lose the only person that seems to be not winning versus Father Time is LeBron. This dude keep getting better. But I think he'll regress just a little bit. But I think Gus and Justice will take a step up where Ingram may stay the same or regress just a little bit. And we may not even be able to notice his regression. But I just age and football don't do good, well. And I think Ingram is pushing 30, if not 30 already. How do you feel about Jalen Reagor? How I feel about Jalen Reagor. Jalen Reagor was somebody I was excited to see at the combine, but he put on all that weight and did not run good. I feel like if he wanted to bulk up for the NFL, which you should, do that after the combine because your 40 number is big. It's big as a skill guy. Now, I haven't watched his tape yet, but I heard through the grapevine that he was fast and people saying how fast he was, so I wanted to see him run. And he got out there and, to me, laid an egg at the combine because with all that added weight. Now, he looked good, rocked up, chiseled up, muscles popping out his thighs. He had lit biceps popping out. Yeah. But a guy that's supposed to have been a burner, that was a huge disappointment. And when he ran that first one, I was like, well, maybe he's just nervous. And he ran it again. Nah, he's just tight. His body ain't used to having that weight on his yet. Now, he may get faster when he get used to having that extra muscle and whatnot, or he may get a little looser, but he was a huge disappointment. And I can't tell you about his skill set because I haven't watched the tape on him, so I don't want to front and act like I know a lot about Reagan. I don't. All I know is the combine situation. I know he's supposed to be fast. He wasn't fast, and I was disappointed because I was just waiting to see him and Ruggs run, and Ruggs didn't disappoint me, but Reagan disappointed me big time. Will we keep Ben Powers as right guard, or will we draft someone to take Yanda's place? I'm hoping Ben plays, but we still need to draft somebody. Last year I was high on Ben Powers. Ben Powers was one of the first videos I did when I started to do draft content, and I was extremely high on Ben Powers. And the fact that he was not active, just not active for 15 games. The good thing he was active at the one game I went to, and I got to see him play. And those 28 or 30 so snaps he played, I feel like he balled out. So I don't know why he was inactive. Was it a numbers game or what? But I think now he fits into the plan. Even though I still think we need to draft somebody too. I think he fits in the plan and has the opportunity to start. Like I said, we had an injury to our center. I don't know if he's going to be back. Then Yanda's retirement. So that's two spots right there I think the only spots we got set on the O-line are tackles. We get 3 guys in the middle that can ball out, let them battle, compete, and may the best 3 win. Whether it be a rookie, whether it be somebody that we pick up in free agency, which we're not going to have a lot of money when we spend money on edge or a linebacker, and or it be somebody that's on the roster already. So that's why I feel about that. Ben played next to Zeus. Yeah, in college. He did. And in college, they had a great line. They had Zeus, they had Ben, they had Cody Ford, and they had another guy. I think his last name was Bobby Evans, and they still said the center was better than all of them. The center's still there. He'll be a junior this upcoming year at Oklahoma, and they said that guy was better than all of them because he played as a freshman with those studs. So we'll see. So I'm upset the Ravens of Claypool. No, I'm not set on Claypool. No, and if you didn't hear my little story a minute ago, when this is over, we'll rewind it back. Hips was way too tight. I think he's talking about Rager. Have you seen any wide receivers, running back with special return skills? That's a good question, Dukes. Have I seen any wide receivers or running back with special return skills? And the way the NFL kickoff return is, it's going to be tough to find a guy that can do some of those things. I thought we had the perfect guy to do that with D'Anthony, but he didn't give us – he didn't fumble the ball or do anything crazy, but we didn't get any kickoff returns. And honestly speaking, the only guy I even seen return a kick this year was Mecole Hardman. There may have been some other guys that return kicks, and I missed it. But the only guy I saw take a kickoff to the house was Mecole Hardman. So the kickoff game in the NFL, the return game in the NFL is you got to be extremely creative and extremely fast to the way this is set up. Then you got guys like Tuck that as long as it's not a headwind, they booting that thing in the back of the end zone. So, I don't really even know. I think they're starting to phase out kickoff return and punt return. I do like the way the XFL does it, though. I finally watched my first whole XFL game Saturday or Sunday. I was pretty impressed. But I like the way they do kickoffs on that. And if you hit it, if everybody blocked, they got up, you can hit the kickoff in the XFL. And then you don't have to worry about people getting hurt too as much. So I like the way the XFL does kickoffs. Should we address running backs, or are you comfortable with what we have? I am comfortable with running backs. I am comfortable. Bruno, I answered your question at the top of the show, Bruno. I answered your question at the top of the show. So if you missed it, when this is over, go back. I did answer your question that you submitted the other day. I answered it. Yeah, I did mention your question. Robbie Anderson feels like a great fit. He can take the offense up a notch. Yeah, Robbie Anderson is one of those guys that can burn, and he has the dog mentality that I like. I feel like he's been overlooked so much that any play he makes, he feels like he's not supposed to be there, and so he takes advantage of every opportunity. I think he feels like he's made it, but he had to do so much fighting and clawing to get where he is that he's going to take advantage of every opportunity he has. And he was a shining star on an otherwise bad team last year. The Jets were not very good, even with Lev Bell. They were not very good, and he was pretty much the shining star on that team. What we got next? Gibson did it against us. Gibson for what team? Remind me, Gibson did it for what team? Plan for off season. You heard me podcast. Get most possible for Judon and trade and move in the top 15. So I kind of talked about some of that with Ken McCusick last night, and he has a podcast coming out probably this weekend or Monday or Tuesday, and with all my thoughts and his thoughts on edge guys and linebackers. So kind of make sure you be on the lookout for that. If you don't know, Ken McCusick is a Ravens film study, but I'll kind of touch on it a little bit. And Ken was kind of playing devil's advocate to me, and you'll hear about it. So every move we potentially make, we need to have two things in mind. If we pick up somebody new, the contract needs to end soon because Lamar's going to have to get paid. Or do we just keep Judon and then we'll still have whatever money that he's going to cost us when he leaves next year to put toward Lamar's contract, towards Humphrey's contract, towards Stanley's contract. So we got to keep in mind we got three main contracts that I feel like we need to keep. Obviously Lamar, to me, obviously Humphrey, and definitely obviously Stanley. So we got to keep in mind, like, if we go get somebody, how long are we going to be able to sign them and not hold up money because we got to pay Lamar, Stanley, and Marlon. And I think Stanley's up first, then Marlon, then Lamar. But I think I really think Lamar's going to get done sooner than later because it's going to come up sooner than later because he's definitely outplayed his rookie deal, especially if he has another year like this year. They're going to have to lock him up quick for an absorbing amount of money, because Mahomes going to get a ton of money also. And Lamar's probably going to get a notch below Mahomes. But we win a Super Bowl, he might get equal to Mahomes. You might get just as much. But again, and you know that when we pay a quarterback, it's going to change the dynamic of the team. A la Joe Flacco after the last Super Bowl. When you pay the quarterback, it's going to change the dynamic of the team because all your money is locked up into too much of your money is locked up into one person. But that one person is so important. And hopefully we won't have the same production or lack of production that we had the quarterback position once we pay Lamar, because we really didn't have a lot of production from Joe when he after he got paid. And I'm not going to bash Joe, but that's keeping it 100. We didn't get a lot of production out of Joe, after he got paid. Had a great playoff run in 12. Great playoff run. I mean, like 16-2 touchdown to interception ratio. Great playoff run, something like that. But the production after that didn't match the contract, and then we were not able to sign any more offensive talent to go with him. So that hurt. He didn't really have a lot of talent. Lamar probably got more weapons than Joe right now, and we don't think Lamar has enough weapons. But that's because he had so much money in his contract. But again, for self reasons, you got to get what you can get when you can get it, and I understand that. Let's see where we at. What's up, Coach? What's up, Ravens Nation? Still not over that loss, though. I am not over that loss. I'm almost there. I'm not. I'm not going to even go there. Gus Evans is a free agent, by the way. Gus is. I didn't know that. Gus will be back. And the thing is, because they're going to be running backs clamoring to come to Baltimore. There'll probably be running backs that'll be willing to take less to come to Baltimore because we run the ball so much. And especially with running back being a devalued position, there will be guys, like if Gus leaves, there'll be guys knocking down the Costa's door to come play in Baltimore to get carries because they know they're going to get them. And I'm not to jump subjects, but to go back to Yanda's retirement, he talked about how much he loved run blocking this year because the NFL's been a passing league. He really got passionate talking about the fact that he knew every week they were going to be out there just bludgeoning people every week. And then he mentioned the Rams game when they was kicking butt from start to finish. So, running back's going to come if he decides to leave. I'm not even worried about that. We need a yak guy. We do. We need a yak guy. And I think we need a guy that with yak comes speed. To me, we need a guy, yak comes. You have to have speed to get yak. And I think whoever that guy is needs to be able to catch the ball. And if he has opportunities to get up the field, do so. Well, and Hollywood probably could be a yak guy, but he was protecting that foot. If you notice, Hollywood didn't take a lot of hits last year, but he was protecting that foot. And some people didn't know it. And about halfway through the season, I figured it out. Like, man, this dude's still hurt. And come to find out he was still hurt. And I just kind of put 2 and 2 together. Not practicing on Fridays, not taking hits, diving a lot. Only time you see him like for really burst if he was like completely by himself. So I really don't think he was even close to healthy until right there toward the end of the season. And now that he has that, I think he had a pin taken out or something. You're gonna see the guy from college. You're gonna see the guy that's probably gonna be a problem. So that's why if we get any kind of speed on the other side to not let him be doubled, not allow him to be doubled, that guy's gonna be a problem. Really is gonna be a problem. Think that was holding who back? Oh, it probably was holding Ben Powers back. Let's see. Comp picks. We're gonna get to the comp picks too. We that's gonna help us. I'll go ahead and talk about it now. Talk about the comp picks. We got a 3rd round and a 4th round. And the 3rd round was for our linebacker that we lost to the Jets. The 4th round was I can't remember who the 4th round was for. But I think if I'm not mistaken, that brings us to 8 or 9 picks in the draft. 8 or 9 picks in the draft. Because once the comp picks came out, I honestly couldn't wait to get to the draft simulator and go do it and I got everything I wanted and more. And I'll probably post that picture later of the one I did. It's on my laptop. I got Cushenberry. I got some interior D linemen. I got inside linebackers. I got edge guys. I got a receiver. I want to say I might have got 2 receivers. But I had a blast with it today, and I post what I drafted earlier. I saw Sonny did one earlier, and he only had like 6 picks. But the one I did today, when they added the composition picks, the compensatory picks, I had pretty much every need we had. I filled it other than safety, and I got a tackle also. I picked the tackle also. So that thing's pretty fun. If you haven't found that on Draft Network, go play with that from time to time. It's pretty fun. Pungent question from a Browns fan. I'm thinking, do you think Nick Chubb will take a step back next year? I do not. Chubb is a dog, and if the Browns can get some guys up front to block for him, he don't need much. A la that 88-yard run versus Baltimore. Chubb don't need a lot to get going. He don't need a lot. Y'all just need to feature that guy and stick with him. Don't get so pass happy because you got Baker and Odell and Jarvis and Njoku. Chubb is your best player. Nick Chubb is your best player, offensively and defensively. Nick Chubb. I hope they get Yannick in a trade. Yes, I would love to have Yannick, but Yannick gonna cost a bunch because he's young and he good. Yannick's gonna cost a bunch because he's young and he good. Let's see where we at. Gus is still in his rookie contract. Also, yeah, somebody said he was a free agent. I went along with it because I didn't know if that was true or not. Joe was supposed to have Ray Rice and Dennis Pitta. That said Joe was garbage. He put Joe was garbage with some J's. So that was really trash. I ain't gonna bash Joe. It's been a lot of times like that's it. So since we on the subject, was it Joe's fault that Lee Evans dropped that ball? Nope. So it was some things happened that wasn't Joe's fault. But him getting a lot of money handcuffed the management as far as putting people around him. Let's see where we at. Bo Scarborough. Got to sign Bo Scarborough. Bo would fit what we do, but like I said, I still think those 3 guys will be back. I look like Steve Harvey's long lost cousin. Y'all, all these comparisons and the 2 comparisons y'all throwing there today, both of them are megas. So I'll deal with that. How you doing, by the way? Ravens still there. I got a few trolls in here. That's cool though. That's cool. So third was Zarius, 4th was Mosley. Appreciate it, Ken Miles. It's a wrap if we get a healthy Hollywood and Robert Anderson. I agree. Hey, I appreciate that also. So now this is where we at. Free agent linebackers and edge guys. Free agent linebackers and edge guys. So again, I mentioned earlier, I talked to Ken about this, and I got a list of guys that are eligible. And so what I want you to do in the chat box is I'm going to give you the names of the eligible edge guys that are 3-4 edge guys, and you guys put the name of who you would like the Ravens to get in the chat box. So the first name is Vic Beasley from the Falcons. 3-4 guy, a good quickness. He had 8 sacks. Got a kind of a bad rep because he's not the greatest in a certain area of defense. Second guy is Shaquille Barrett. I think Shaquille led the league in sacks. Next, Clowney. Everybody loves Clowney, but we can't afford Clowney. Jamie Collins is a guy from New England. Dante Fowler from the Rams is a guy. Marcus Golden from the Giants is a guy. And the other guys I had are pretty much 4-3 defensive ends, and we don't really run that. Oh, and Yannick Ngakoue. I think that's how you say it. Yannick Ngakoue. He's the other guy. So out of those edge guys, who would be one that you would like to see as a Ravens, and who do you think we can afford to pick up in a Ravens uniform? Out of those edge guys I just named. Vic Beasley and Golden. Shaquille Barrett had 19.5 sacks. Yep, that's what I got on my paper at 19. I think he led the league. I think Shaquille led the league. Barrett and Yannick. Carlo, we can't afford both of them, though. Both of them guys going to acquire a ton of money. We can't afford both of them. If we get there, if we got both of them, One of them's probably gonna get 18 or 19. So definitely the other one's not gonna take 12. I don't think we got 30 million. Well, we might have picked up some money with Yanda retiring. So we might have picked up some free agent money that way. And if we did, let me know in the chat box. Did we pick up how much money did we pick up by Yanda retiring for free agency? And lastly, before I close this out, some inside linebackers. Inside linebacker is what's up, Lex? Inside linebacker is a need. So I also talked about a few guys that play inside linebacker that could possibly fit. And I'm gonna throw these names out there, and you tell me which one you think could fit and that we can afford. The first one is Blake Martinez from Green Bay. Second, Joe Schobert from Cleveland. Third is Danny Trevathan from the Bears. And the fourth one is Mr. Spin Cycle himself, Nick Vigil from the Bengals. Out of those four guys, who do you think would be worth picking up at the right price? Because if we picked up one of these guys, I still think we should draft a guy to kind of go with him. And keep in mind, we also have who's back? Bynes, or which one of our linebackers is back? Is it Bynes or Fort? I think it's Fort. I think Fort's back. Melvin says none. I really like Trevathan, but he got hurt. I really like Trevathan. Trevathan was having a good year, but he got hurt. Trevathan for coming off that injury, he should be cheap. We re-signed Fort, so Fort's the guy that's still left. The other two names, Borden and Laka, man, they make my head hurt. Keep in mind, we had three guys that couldn't get the job done. We went and picked up some guys off the street. We had Peanut. We had the guy we traded to the Rams. I can't remember what his name was. We ended up bringing down basically a strong safety to play linebacker. Chuck Clark did a great job of filling in that linebacker. So we got to get some. And Fort and Bynes came in and did a great job too. To be at home chilling, snack. Well, they probably wasn't snacking. They probably was working out. But to be at the house and just chilling and watching football like the rest of us, to come in and playing some great football on a 14-2 team. Because it was going to get, I don't know if you follow my channel, but after the Browns game, so many teams tried to replicate that play. So many. Even the Browns tried it twice after, the second time we played them. They tried it twice. Then they faked it and ran a screen backside on it, and that failed too. So many teams tried that pin and pull against us with the two tight ends after the Browns did it. But Fort and Bynes and Chuck Clark and all the guys we stuck in there came in there and had gap integrity. That's the word I use when we talk about it. Gap integrity, and shut that down, and pretty much didn't have nobody really ran it on us other than San Francisco that I can think of. Ran it and it was scary was San Francisco. Other people had success running it, but San Francisco run on us was scary. We got out of that one with a victory, by the gods with that rain. That rain helped us out. Let's see what we got in the chat box, and then we're gonna kind of shut this thing down. I appreciate you guys for coming. Again, this is episode 3 of Questions with Coach. Give you 5 more minutes. Any questions you got in the chat box, put them out there and give you 5 more minutes to go. Oh, godson. We know Tennessee ran it on us. Come on, brother. Why you gotta do me like that? And you supposed to be my guy, godson. You supposed to be my guy. We know Tennessee ran it on us. Why you bringing up old stuff? You bring up old stuff. Junction. Who does he play for? What's that? Kowalski? Who does he play for? What team does he play for? Appreciate it, Devin. Pound game. What round do you think we draft for interior O lineman? Lex, round 1. His name is Lord Cushenberry III. Look him up. Nah, I ain't forgot, bro. Nah, I ain't forgot. Nah. Back up for the Bears. Okay, I'll check him out. And probably next time I go live, which I'll try to keep this same time slot. It's 8 o'clock, and you can have just a Ravens Wednesday. You can have me at 8, and Joe and Sonny at 9, and And Ink Raven with his vampire hours at 11. Let's keep this thing going. I appreciate you guys for tuning in. LSU dude, yes, Cushionberry, center for LSU, but he can play both guard positions. That's my number one pick. I ain't gonna change it unless something happens. Unless he end up being, like, as Vach say, gun under the seat guy, or gas mask, weed, bone guy. Other than that, I ain't gonna change it. Everybody keeps saying Cesar Ruiz or Cushionberry. I don't see it. So this is what I'm probably going to do. I'm probably going to do a Cesar Ruiz versus Cushionberry video. If I can get Cesar's tape, that's what I think I'm going to do. Cesar Ruiz versus Cushionberry. Before the draft, be on the lookout for that. Cesar Ruiz versus Lord Cushionberry. Even though they played kind of the same position, I think that's what I'm going to do. I appreciate that. That's what I'm going to do, because a lot of people, they don't necessarily disagree with me, but they just put a different name in that spot. And Cesar's the name that's been popping up a lot. And so that's what I do. I do some research on Cesar, and hopefully I can find some all-22 and I can break them down also. But I know I got plenty on Cushionberry. Plenty. With that being said, it's 8:46. Guys, go get your purple Kool-Aid, refresh your cup, so you can be back at 9 for the podcast with Sonny and Joe. So this is what you do: get you something to eat, refresh your purple Kool-Aid, come back to YouTube and your computer, your phone, or wherever you're at, riding around in your city, and tune in for Joe Newbo's podcast. Please hit the like button, hit the subscribe button if you're not subscribed, and share it. Share it with everybody. Everybody. Mamas, cousins, in-laws, people you don't like, just share it with everybody. Just random people, just share it, and they may like what they see. And I appreciate you guys, man. This is Coach Evans with Sit the Tally Films, and this has been Questions with Coach, episode 3. See you when I see you. Peace.